All right, everybody. Are you ready for the news?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Hey, we're getting a jobs report today.
I totally forgot about that, actually.
I know, literally. I was like, there's just been so much going on. Or sometimes, like, parts of the government are shut down, and then they're like, yeah, we're just not going to do it. But we are getting a job report today. The Bureau of Labor Statistics will release the February non-farm payrolls this morning. Economists expect growth of 50,000 and stable unemployment rate at 4.3%. Let's talk about bonds, because it's the end of the week, and what a week bonds have had.
Yeah, it's been wild. It's been something you've been keeping your eye on for sure. Bonds and notes. They've been ripping, they've been dipping, but it certainly has everything to do with this market, crude oil prices, gold, silver, dollar. What do you have to say?
100%. I mean, look, this is backward looking, but if it looks bad in the past, it ain't going to necessarily look good for the next jobs report. And I think, we've seen, the 10-year yield's almost at 4.2%. It was literally below 4% a week and change ago. So I think you got to watch and see what bonds do. It's I don't know.
In times of not super high, but in times of high, juicy volatility like we're in now, can these economic reports, will they even move the needle? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's hard to say unless you look at the SPX markets. That's what I like to do, at least, because sometimes you think there'll be some report and it'll move the markets, and then you look at the SPX one-day implied move and it's like 20 points, which tells us this probably isn't going to do anything. But to your point, this is a 68-point implied move for today, SPX, which is the highest we've seen in many weeks. So yeah, I think there's certainly implied volatility in general in the market because of what's happening on this globe that we live on. But yeah, it'll definitely have an effect, and we'll find out in 13 minutes here, 14 minutes.
The number one thing that's moving the market right now is oil, right?
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. I feel like this jobs report, I don't know if it can help the market. I feel like it could mostly hurt it.
Okay.
Again, if it's bad and it's showing a bad situation, rates are higher. That's only going to create a situation where companies are going to start to pull back more because it's inflationary. And if this thing is bad, I feel like it could hurt the market more. I don't necessarily know how much it could lift the market per se. That's just what I think, but I guess we'll see.
As the conflict in Iran is boosting the bid for the dollar becoming a safe haven, let's talk currencies and where you see opportunity.
Well, I've been violently long the U.S. dollar.
Violently long.
Yes,
yeah,
as our friend Glenn would tell you. But yeah, we've been kind of just layering into TCFX positions on the Taste Trade platform and just throwing on small tranches of the U.S. dollar over the franc, the Aussie dollar over the dollar, and shorting it. So we've benefited from this dollar rally finally, but the interesting thing is, will it be sustainable, or will it just collapse back down once things figure themselves out?
I don't, obviously, you got it in here, right? The Iran crisis. I don't love the fact that the dollar is moving for the reason that it's moving, right? That said, it's nice when things start to make sense again. All of a sudden, the dollar moves up, markets get scared, the gold goes down. That's the way it's supposed to work. It has not worked like that for the better part of a year and change. And that's made trading difficult at times. There's been plenty of times I've tried to get long the dollar, and it just made no sense why it moved or not. Now it actually makes sense again. So I think that's the cool thing. You can start to make sense of some of the relationships that we see day in and day out. But it's wild. You're right. This is really unique to see the dollar moving the way it's moving.
Are you guys using DXY or what instruments? So you're using TastyFX.
I look at DXY for sure. I'm glad we have it on the platform. Hashtag dollar. Dollar sign DXY totally fits, makes sense. I love looking at that for the chart. But I also use TastyFX like him to sort of express my opinions on the dollar more than anything. I don't use any other equity stuff to express opinions on dollars. Really, TCFX.
Okay, good to know. In other news, U.S. the Treasury Department is expected to announce measures aimed at combating rising energy prices, including potential action involving the oil futures market. Yeah, that's what we need.
I got to play our old friend Tom on this one. This is ridiculous. I mean,
the potential move would mark an unusual attempt by Washington to influence energy prices through financial markets rather than physical oil supply. So they're like, yeah, we're not going to tap the strategic petroleum reserve. We're going to just manipulate the oil market.
When I see
That's market manipulation. That's crazy.
When I see that, I'm like, I'm not putting on any more oil trades right now.
Yeah.
I got a couple of iron condors, and that's it. I took the one trade-off that I had with which was the 77.80 call spread versus an MCL contract. Took that off yesterday for like $350, almost $400 gain. I'm leaving it there. I'm not making any more directional plays right now because that worries me. That makes me feel like we're going to see a silver type move that like we saw not long ago.
Of course, the next sentence says, the details of the plans are unclear. No. What are your thoughts on this, Mikey?
I think it's wild. I like you have to just let the markets do what they're going to do and let the people figure it out. Like I think eventually this might be a catalyst down the road for people getting more into like electric vehicles and just avoiding this altogether. But obviously you can't just like go out and buy a Tesla, or most people can't. So yeah, I think it's pretty wild. I mean, if you're trying to trade for this, like let's say you actually think this is going to happen. I mean, they're obviously going to try and compress the price. So maybe you put a long-term short position on, but that's still risky in this environment. Yeah.
I mean, I don't, it just adds uncertainty big time.
One thing that is really interesting is, of course, everyone is looking at crude oil and, of course, how the price is at the pump. I think it's up another 7 cents from yesterday. I think it's up 27 to 33 cents for the week.
In my area, I paid $3.65 last night or something like that.
Wow. Because I got gas Monday at Costco and it was $3.14. Right. And I was happy with that. And I was like, yeah.
Those prices are so low.
We were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah. And I drive a hybrid, so I have 400 miles of range for us to figure this out. But what's interesting, though, is what's happening in the diesel market. So the national average for diesel is now over $4 a gallon. Really? And the repercussions of that, as you think about logistics like shipping and transportation and everything that like runs on diesel, hipsters in their Sprinter vans. Like, it's a lot.
What is diesel again? Like, what is it made of? I'm always trying to figure this out because
diesel?
I forget.
I don't know.
Because it
is a component of crude.
It's a component of crude. I can't remember if it like contains more water. I can't remember the deal, but the chemistry behind it. I'm asking because I remember being a kid and I remember diesel was way cheaper than regular gas.
Right.
And then especially once the pandemic came, diesel became a lot more expensive because of the transportation issues and all of that. I just don't remember what diesel is made of, but it's just interesting to me how much that has shifted over, 30-year period.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. When I was younger, I would look at the diesel prices and be like, why don't I have a diesel car? It's distillate fuel.
I thought it contained like more water, but maybe I'm wrong. That's just what I thought. I don't remember.
It's got Monster Energy in it.
Speaking of Monster Energy, I saw some crazy stat. Like if you bought 10K of Monster stock like 20 years ago, you would have like $4 billion now. It's some crazy number.
What?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Some crazy, ridiculous number.
Oh, I'm in the wrong business.